Hello. At Beckett's, our main focus is working on owner-manager businesses and helping the owners manage their personal and business finances to make the most for theirs and their family's future. The most common and biggest event usually in a business owner's life is the sale of their business. And what we can do is we can use our financial planning software to help the business owner understand what it looks like and what the effects are on them. This is a short video which I will run through as quickly as possible to show how that works. So in this instance, we have all of the data inputted here, and we have what's known as our cash flow forecast over here. If there is any red in the plan, it means that there is a shortfall from the income that is needed each year to what is actually available. To give us an idea, we have a husband and wife and 2 children. We have a range of goals. So the most important thing here is we have pre-retirement goals here, household general spending. They like to spend about 12,000 a year on holidays, and they want to put their children through university. They also have some milestones, so one-off payments for major holidays that they've set out and talked between themselves. South America, USA Route 66, around the world big trip, and Australia, New Zealand, and a Norwegian cruise. Alongside that, we have their retirement spending. So again, they want to continue their standard of life in retirement with around about £55,000 of kind of day-to-day expenditure, plus 12,000 for their normal holidays over and above the one-offs. Our client owns an engineering company, and his wife is a teacher, and they also have a rental income from a holiday home. So this is the majority of the information. They have some savings and investments, they have some property, and their main asset is the business property, which is the engineering company. They have some pension savings, but not a huge amount, and a small amount of debt, as well as some protection in place. So all in all, as things go, we can see here if our client works until age 65, retires at 65, there's a drop in spending requirement as we go down because there's less taxes paid, but there's not enough assets to supplement the lifestyle that they want to live. So either they sell the business, or they need to work for a lot longer, or they need to save a lot heavier over here. Now in this position, the client was talking about a business sale, which we can see on this next graph. And what we can do is we can see, right, they expect in this year to sell the business for £1 million. And that has been the objective of these clients for a number of years. They're building towards it and focusing their accounts, positioning it, and speaking with different people to achieve that. And what that means with that sale is actually most of their goals are now met, although their actual spending in retirement there's still a shortfall as they get into their late 80s, which can be seen by this red over here. Now all in all, that looks fine, and the great thing is that they can say, well actually maybe we'll amend some, we'll probably go on some lesser holidays over here. But when we look at their estate is made up of business assets over here and property. The business asset is converted to cash, which is why the purple turns to pink. Some savings and investments, which are generated over the time and spent down, and then their main residence, which looks okay. And we can look at this in a bit more detail. However, it does mean that at the point of death, they leave their main residence and a small amount of savings. There is no inheritance or estate passed on. Where what we can then show is, well, what happens if we then make the most of this and put some planning into place, invest the funds? The first thing to note is that we now have no red in the graph. We now have 11 of the 11 goals met in terms of objectives, and also when we look at what is left, there is a much greater amount of liquidity in the estate, with a larger transfer of assets to the children upon their potential death. So for us, it's about being able to say, well, what happens if the sale happens earlier or later or more or less? And we can then start to work around all of that. We can also look at some insights to say, well, if you do sell for the £1 million and we do the planning, we can look at your total maximum spend in retirement, and we can actually calculate what that's going to look like. which is more like 75,283 compared to the 67,000 they were talking about. So there's a lot of additional information we can add, and that's where hopefully it can help position and move people who are looking to sell into a nice informed position, so that when they get into negotiations they know their red lines, they know their bottom numbers, and they can understand what they truly need to achieve. Any questions at all, please feel free to email us at info@beckettsfs.co.uk. Thank you for listening.